Hello my dear students. So in today's class we are going to discuss array of structure, and also at the end of this video I am going to talk about the difference between array of structure and array within the structure. So first of all I would like to explain the array of structure. So we know that array is a collection of similar kind of items, right? So whatever items that exist in arrays are having similar data type. So if you have declared int a, that means all of the elements of array A will be of type integer. Similar way, if you can also declare structure members as a array, right? So suppose I am taking student details. I want to print result, name and ID of each student. Then I can create a structure student, and inside array I can use the students, right? So I can create an array which contains elements which are having structured data type, because array can contain elements of having same data type. So here data type of each element will be structures. So as it is written over here that array is a collection of similar kind of data types, elements of similar kind of data type. So you can create a structure and use structures as array elements as well. So now I will show you that how it look like. So this is the code for array of structure. Here I have created one structure named as employee. Now you know that employee may have ID, they may have salary, obviously they are having salary, and they are having name. So ID is integer, name is character array, and salary is float over here. Now we know that in one particular organization there may have so many employees. I am assuming that in my virtual organization there are 66 employees, and I want to add details of each of this employee, right? So each of this employee may have their ID, may have their salary, may have their name, different names. So I can create structure, as you can see over here inside int main. I have created struct employee R66. That means R is an array of structures. Each element of R is having data type structure student. Structure employee. So R of 0 will be type of structure, R of 1 will be of type structure, and so on. Now how can I take value from user inside this array of structure, and how can I print those values? You can see the virtual representation, graphical representation of array of structure, where you can see that the employee or say EMP0 or employee of 0 is bytes are allocated in this way. Similar way for EMP1, that is the employee arrays 1, the bytes are allocated in this way, right? So you can see the memory allocation. So now if it is shown that if each one structure member is occupying 13 bytes, that means each employee details will occupy 13 bytes. So for array of 2 it will occupy 28 bytes. For array of 66 over here it will occupy 13 into 66 total bytes, right? So this is all about array of structure. Now if I talk about the array of structure and array within structure, that means whenever I am declaring char name is nothing but the array. So I am using array same structure. And whenever I am creating an array which contains elements, all of these elements are having structured data type, that means it is called as array of structure. Now let us just go through my IDE and see how the array of structure programs perform and how we can differentiate array of structure and structure within an array. So let's go to my IDE. So currently we are inside my IDE and I want to show you something. So first of all, let me open new source file. So for that I am entering Ctrl+N include stdio.h. Here I am creating int main and inside int main return 0. Right. So this is very common. Now I am going to create one structure, struct EMP. Right. Employee structure. This structure is having ID, float, salary, and here it will have character, name. So array of characters which contains name of employee, and here semicolon is must. Now inside void main I have to write something like this. So here I am creating struct EMP E. Now I am dealing with array of employees. So suppose if my organization is having 10 details. For 10 employees I have to enter details of 10 employees. So I am just making array shorter by having just 3 employees. Suppose my organization is having 3 employees. That means E of 0 over here, E of 0 is kind of first employee, E of 1 is kind of second employee, and E of 2 is kind of third employee. And each of these employees must have different names, different ID and some salary. Right. So how can I get value from user and how can I print those values? Right. So this is all about array of structure. So now to tell user to enter data, first of all I will tell it to enter the employee data. Right. So first of all employee data will be asked. Then I am going to printf /n enter the enter ID or say employee ID. Then after scanf %v and e dot. Now you know that it is array, not simple e. So what will be the issue? So here once e's value will be e of 0, then e of 1, e of 2. So similar with the arrays, you have to deal with loops. How? For I equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Because arrays cannot be write alone with the array name. So I have to write this inside this loop. I have to declare int I, and here this is not e but it is e of I. Right. So if you have understand the concept of array very well, then you will be understand that why I have written something like this, and each e of I will have their own ID, salary and name. So first of all I am entering ID. Let me just complete it. Now copy this, paste it over here. So here it will be enter save name. Right. So here it will be %s and here it will be even dot name. You can eliminate and in case of scanf when you are printing a string. Again copying it, and again if I just write salary over here, so here it will be %f because it is float, and here it will be dot salary. Right. So this is how you can take values from user. Now let us check if it is having any error or not. Probably we will encounter one error that I am not revealing right now. Let us just check first. So compile it and run it. First enter the ID. I am entering 1. Enter the name, common, and enter the salary. So it is this. So we are not encountering any error. I thought that We may encounter an error in case of string because we have not used f flush. But whenever you are using just a single string, that kind of error will not occur. But whenever you are using multiple strings, you are taking multiple string values from user, at that time you may encounter that error, and at that time you may have to use f flush that I have explained in previous video. So right now, okay, if I just hit enter, it is again asking me to add name. So here I am entering 2. Employee name is say Komal1, another employee. Now you can see we are getting the error where I cannot enter the salary. So that buffer problem can be resolved by using f flush. So I have to use f flush over here, f flush function, and here std in, right? So now let me just compile it and run it again after the saving. So first is enter 1, name of employee Komal, and salary is say this. Now name of employee is Trupti, and say salary is say this. And now third ID, name of employee means say ABC, and salary is say this, right? So this is how you can execute your program. Now if you want to print this employee details in proper manner, you can just take another loop like this, and here printf /n, and in between this /n I'm going to use this, and here just print f data, right? And here employee data, and here it will be printed. Right, and here it will be starting from new line. So it will look better in some kind of tabular format. And now if I just print right, so ID, here it will be say ID is printf for employee %d, here it will be value of I plus 1. So for first employee, second employee, and third employee. So it will print something like this. It looks better. ID, then here name, and here salary, right? And here I can say E of I dot ID, right? Here I can say %d. Here I can say %s E of I dot name, and here I can say %f. Here it will be E of I dot salary. Let me save this program, compile it, and run it. What is an issue? ID is %d expected semicolon. So now if I enter ID for one first employee Komal having some kind of salary, then employee 2 Trupti having some salary, and then say ID 3 ABC having some salary, then you can see it is printing for employee 1, for employee 2, and for employee 3 it is printing its values, right? So this is how you can deal with array of structure. Now what exactly the array within structure? So here this is called array within structure because we are using array within. You can also use int something. So you can also use int arrays. In the practical list of the structures, we are going to perform the practical which will differentiate array of structure and structure within an array. So don't worry if you don't understand this concept that much. So I hope you understand this concept and enjoyed my class. If you have any doubt, you can comment below the comment section and ask me. See you in the next class with structural practicals. Thank you so much.